The air in the Joan household was thick with tension. You have crossed every line today, Dad, he growled, voice laced with venom. You really expect me to marry someone else like it's nothing, like I'm some toy you can just repackage and present to another girl. I'm not doing this to hurt you, Jungkook. I'm doing this to protect the family's dignity. Mr. Kim made it clear. Screw Mr. Kim. Jungkook slammed his fist on the glass coffee table, making it tremble. You think I care about what that coward has to say? He raised a daughter who couldn't even say goodbye before running away. And you are showing me towards someone else like a replacement groom in a pathetic drama. Watch your tone, son. No, you watch yours. His voice dropped deadly and sharp. You knew I loved Yuri. You saw what we had, and yet you stood there, picked up the phone, and arranged my wedding with someone I don't even know. Do you enjoy watching me burn? I only did what I had to, our family name. Oh, yes, the precious Joan reputation that matters more to you than your own son's hurt, right? His father stayed silent. Unbelievable. I'm being handed over like a pawn, and to who? To her, that girl who's too scared to even speak a full sentence. Mr. Joan looked away, guilt shadowing his face. Fine, I'll do it. I'll marry her, but don't expect me to respect her. This isn't a marriage, it's a transaction. At the wedding hall, his expression never softened, not once, even when you, dressed in that delicate gown, stood beside him with trembling hands. Even when the priest asked if he took you as his wife, he didn't blink. His voice was cold and dry. I do. You hesitated when your turn came, eyes starting to his unmoved face. Your voice barely escaped. Yes, I do. The crowd clapped, cameras flashed, but the two people on stage were nothing but two strangers changed by duty and betrayal. Wedding night, June mentioned. You were sitting on the edge of the pristine white bed, your bangles clinking softly as your fingers fiddled nervously. The room was beautiful, but nothing felt warm. Then the door swung open. Jungkook walked in without a word, his style loosened, eyes dark. He didn't even look at you. Instead, he reached into the inner pocket of his coat and pulled out a rolled up document. Without a single warning, he threw the paper at your face. It hit your cheek and fell to your lap. Read it, that's all you will ever get from this marriage. You picked it up with shaking fingers. I scanned the bold title at the top. Temporary Martial Contract Agreement. Your throat dried, one line stood out. Upon Yuri Kim's return, John Chungkook reserves the full right to file for immediate divorce with no resistance from the spouse, Miss Wine. You stared at it, stunned. It felt like being slapped twice, once by the paper and then by the words. Wow, you must really be in love, huh? He didn't respond. You couldn't even wait a day to hand this over. Wedding night memories, right? You have officially set the bar for worst husband of the century. Chungkook glared at you, his jaw tightening. Don't act like a victim. You knew what this was. You were just a replacement, nothing more. You stood up, your voice gaining strength despite the tears burning your eyes. And you are just a spoiled boy throwing tantrums because his first choice ghosted him. Don't worry, when she comes back, I'll be the first to run. But until then, you better remember I'm not some doormat. His, his nostrils flared, but he said nothing. Without another glance, he turned on his heel and walked out, slamming the door behind him. You sat back down, heart pounding, tears refusing to fall. Not yet, because if he was going to act like a heartless stranger, then so would you. The heavy door slammed shut behind him and silence swallowed the room. You sat there still wearing your bridal dress, the fabric now wrinkled and forgotten beneath the weight of your pain. The contract lay beside you on the bed like a curse. You stared at it, your hands resting limply in your lap. So he will divorce me when she comes back. A bitter laugh escaped your lips dry and low, but who is going to tell him she's not coming back? Your fingers slowly curled into the bedsheet. He doesn't even know that his precious Yuri ran away with her boyfriend, and that man, he still thinks she will return like a fairy tale princess. You looked up at the ceiling, eyes glassy, feeling sad for your Jungkook truly. You were so busy holding on to someone who left you behind like a suitcase. You smiled faintly, the type of smile that came from defeat, not joy. And with that, the night passed slowly, heavy, and sleepless. The next morning, you had barely closed your eyes when the door slammed open. You jolted upright, startled, your heart hammering in your chest. Who, when? Your hair was a tangled mess, strands falling across your sleepy face, and your eyes were wide with confusion. The oversized sleeves of your robe slipped down your arms as you sat there, blinking like a sleepy kitten. Chunguk stood in the doorway, and for a brief second, just a second, his footsteps froze. The early sunlight bathed your face, and you looked so effortlessly beautiful, so untouched by makeup or pretense, like a fallen angel trying to survive in a stranger's heaven. His heart skipped, but then he remembered you were not her. You were just the one forced in her place. His jaw tightened, and the softness in his eyes turned back to us. Get up, make me breakfast. You blinked, still half asleep. I don't know how to. His laugh was dry and sarcastic. Oh, really? You don't know how to make breakfast? Wow. So they just picked a random girl and didn't even check the manual. He took a step closer, towering above you. I don't care if you know how or not. Learn, go figure it out, cook something, and I better find it edible. Without giving you a second glance, he turned and walked out, the door swinging behind him again. You stood at the spot he stood, lips parting in disbelief. Me, you step on Legos for the rest of your life. Still grumbling, you pushed yourself off the bed, yawning dramatically as you dragged yourself to the bathroom. What kind of villain origin story did I get myself into? You opened the bathroom door and looked at your reflection rising a brew at your wild hair. Let's go, Cinderella. Time to cook or burn something. And with that, you stepped into the shower, letting the warm water hit your skin as your mind prepared for the storm you married into. After the shower, you stood in the kitchen staring at the endless counters, sleek appliances, and a fridge so full it made your brain short circuit. Okay, YouTube, don't fail me now. You pulled out your phone, found a beginner friendly breakfast video, and followed each step like a soldier on a mission. A few spills, some overcooked eggs, and a very confused microwave moments later, it was finally done. Not perfect, not pretty, but it was edible. You arranged the meal on a simple plate, wiped the edges like you had seen on cooking shows, and tiptoed to the dining room where Jungkook sat reading the business section of the newspaper. He didn't even look up when you placed the plate in front of him. He didn't even glance your way, just kept flipping the newspaper like your presence was as silent as the chandelier above. He finally picked up the spoon and took a bite. A pause. Then he then he lowered the spoon slowly, chewing like he was tasting betrayal. What is this, he stiffened. Scrambled eggs with cheese and grilled toast and a smoothie. I followed the recipe. He narrowed his eyes, leaned back in his chair. Oh, you followed a recipe? Cute. What did you do? Search how to not kill your husband with breakfast on YouTube. Your heart stung, but you stayed quiet. His sarcasm dripped like poison. At least I tried. It's better than serving attitude with nothing on the plate. His gaze shot up at you sharp. Careful, that mouth of yours will get you in trouble. Already in trouble. Remember, I married you. The room fell silent. The air between you two was thick with fire. He clicked his tongue and stood up from the chair. I don't care how you feel. You were not supposed to be here in the first place. You were dumped into my life because your family begged mine to save face. Your fists clenched, lips trembling, but you refused to look down, and yet your family was so desperate they accepted someone they didn't even know. He stepped forward, his voice colder now. If you're done playing chef, make yourself useful. Clean the mansion, every room, every corner. You tilted your head with exaggerated innocence, or else. He smirked darkly and leaned in just a little closer. Or else I'll throw you out. I don't care if the world sees it. You are a contract away from vanishing. You smirked right back, lifting your chin. Great, I'll even pack my bags myself. Maybe your precious Yuri can help. That name, that one name, Yuri, tightened something in his jaw. He stepped closer again. Then, with a sudden move, he gripped your jaw tightly. Lifting your face toward him, his breath was warm against your skin, but his voice was glacial. Don't bring up her name again and stay in your limits. Replacement. Your heart cracked, the words stabbed like a dagger deeper than anything he had said so far. But you followed the pain, blinking hard to keep the tears back. He let go of your jaw and turned, walking out of the room as if you were air. 'You stood there for a moment, breathing slowly, your lips stinging from where he touched you. Then, in a whisper only the walls heard, I may be the replacement now, Jungkook, but let's see who ends up irreplaceable in the end. 2 months had passed. Jungkook hadn't changed much on the surface. He was still cold, still sarcastic, still kept a wall built around him, but it wasn't as thick anymore. He still taunted you with sharp comments, still referred to you as the replacement sometimes, but there was moments. Strange, silent moments where his actions spoke a little louder than his bitterness. Like last month, when you felt terribly ill, your body burned with fever for days, and you were too dizzy to even sit up. You had tried to clean, to cook, to do your part, but he stopped you. He didn't say anything kind, he didn't smile or show warmth, but the next day, a maid appeared in the house hired by him, and you were ordered to rest, no discussion. Now, most nights passed quietly. He came home late, ate silently, and went to sleep in the guest room, never once mentioning her name. You never mentioned it either. At night, the sky was painted in dark shades of navy and gray, stars scattered like secrets no one dared to tell. A cool breeze kissed your cheeks as you stood quietly in the balcony, hugging yourself, your long sleeves dancing with the wind. You were not crying, just thinking, whispering softly into the night like you always did, as if God or fate might finally listen. Leaving the guest room, never once mentioning her name, you never mentioned it either. God, what exactly did you write in my fate? A cold marriage with a husband who doesn't even look at me like I exist? Your voice cracked a little, but you smiled bitterly through it. How would he feel when he finds out the truth that Yuri ran away with her boyfriend and never even planned to return? Will he break? Will he finally stop waiting for her? Suddenly, what? You gasped and spun around, your heart skipping a beat. There he stood, half in the shadows, half under the moonlight. His eyes wide, he looked like he hadn't heard air in his lungs for minutes. What did you just say? You packed a little, panicking. I nothing. I was just blabbering. I didn't mean. But he strode forward and grabbed your arms, not harshly but firmly, as if holding you would keep the truth from slipping away again. No, no more lies, please. Tell me what you mean. Still, when will I be the only fool waiting for her? His voice was shaky, eyes searching yours like a drowning man begging for the shore. She's not coming back, Jungkook. His grip faltered just slightly. She ran away with her boyfriend. He lives in America. They left together before the wedding. Dad thought she might return, so he stayed quiet, but she won't. She chose someone else. His fingers slowly loosened around your arms. His breath hissed. His face turned away as a single tear escaped from the corner of his eye and trailed down his cheek. like a scar that had been waiting to form. You felt a sharp ache in your chest for him. He looked shattered, not because of betrayal, but because the hope he had been clinging to for so long had just evaporated into nothing. It's not wrong to wait for someone. He blinked slowly, voice trailing off. But if that someone was never coming back, then what exactly was I holding on to? You stayed quiet watching the man who once stood so tall now looked so small under the weight of reality. He turned away, taking one step, then another. Then, before disappearing into the hallway, he murmured, "Sorry," and he left. You stood alone on the balcony, arms wrapped around yourself, tears finally falling down. Oh God, this wasn't how I wanted him to know.